So Jewel, in the last interview that we had almost a year ago, you made a pretty bold statement.
In the States, I feel like when you go to a club, there are usually more women than men. In Ghana, it's the other way around, okay? It's about 500 men to 100 women.
Well, I definitely want to say that statement does hold true as far as my 5 to 1 or whatever the number I said, if not more. I think dating is very interesting. I think you have to be very specific on the type of guy that you're wanting to be with. But it can be hard too. And I didn't talk about this before, but I know with me, myself, I would definitely consider myself a free spirit. Like, people wouldn't think that I'm shy. I really am shy. And it's crazy.
No,
I
you're
really
not.
am.
No, you're not.
I really am. It's so crazy.
That's hard for me to believe.
That I kind of get up and go. I don't have any kids, so it's really easy for me to do that. And I work for the airline, so it's easy for me to move around. But I've noticed in Ghana, when dating a Ghanaian man, having kids is very important to them, especially if they're the only son, leaving a legacy and building a family is very important to them, which, I appreciate that. I love seeing that. But me, myself,
you're not ready.
I'm not ready for that. And I feel like I'm 30 years old. So people also think like, damn, you should have had about 3 kids by now, especially in Ghana. They looking like they thinking I have kids already. I'm like, no, I ain't even thinking about kids,
So if you've been in a relationship with a Ghanaian, ever been involved romantically with a Ghanaian, or even married to one, and you've met their family, has there been any pressure from them for you guys to have kids? Comment down below and let me know.
And they think that, something's wrong with me, or am I infertile, all these different things. And it's like, no, I just like not having to worry about somebody else. You know what I mean? I'm worrying about myself. Kids are expensive. I barely got money for myself. Okay. I ain't trying to do all that. So, but I definitely feel like it's very important in Ghana, or dating a Ghanaian man, to have that conversation, because it needs to be said, you know what I mean? And especially with me, and when I'm dating, I think that they're they know what they want. Ghanaian man, they know what they want.
Okay, so this is Weezy. Weezy is in a relationship, but he is looking for a woman that would allow him to have 12 kids.
Exactly.
Every 6 months, okay? So that means you have to be okay with him having multiple women.
So if I'm dating a guy and I'm telling him, like, I'm not trying to have kids right now, or even within the next 5 years, you know what I mean? Is that okay with you? I feel like that's a conversation you need to be having like day one. Mm-hmm. Hi, my name is Jewel. Are you okay not having kids right now? You know what I mean? Like, it has to have a conversation, because they want families,
Right.
Mm-hmm. They want that. And like I said, there's nothing wrong with that, but that's not what I see in my life right now. And it's not really a thought either. So
yeah.
I've also noticed that a lot of men they live with their families. They could be 30 years old and single and still living at home, which is normal, because they're not going to leave their home until they're ready to start their own family, when they get married and they start expanding, which is not normal to me, or I'm not used to that, because, in the States, I date a lot of guys that are independent, and I typically wouldn't date a guy if they didn't have their own place or their own car. You know what I mean? But I definitely feel like in Ghana, it's normal for men to still be at home, especially if they're single. That was definitely a shock to me. It was.
So I've heard this about Ghanaian men from, some of the sisters here and some of the, the Facebook groups, that Ghanaian men are aggressive when they like you, when they see you and they like you. Is that true?
It's 1,000% true.
Really?
It is. I think that they just have a different way of showing that they're interested. And sometimes it can be aggressive, very aggressive. But I also feel like they don't really like the word no. They don't understand the word no.
We don't know the word no.
Okay. It's like always a negotiation too. You know what I mean? It's kind of like, oh, you have a boyfriend? Well, I can be your friend. I'm like, my boyfriend would not be happy for me to have a friend that is interested in me. You know what I mean? So, but I've noticed though, if I say I have a boyfriend, because I'm dating, you know, so I am dating. But I think that if I don't say that I'm married, they're going to keep on trying. I definitely feel like it's a lot of times where I put a ring on my left finger so people will leave me alone.
Wow.
Okay, I'm married. Yeah, because if you say boyfriend, they're like, okay, good, I still have a chance. You know, there's like no loyalty. There's no loyalty.
Wow.
But yeah, I definitely feel like they can be aggressive. They can be aggressive. But with me living here, I kind of know it's the norm. But for somebody that's a tourist, that's never been to Ghana, and that's not used to that, I can definitely see how it can make them feel uncomfortable. But I've been to other countries where it's like the same, you know, in Jamaica, it's the same way. They're aggressive there too. They're aggressive there too. But again, I kind of appreciate it. Like if they like you and they want you to know, that's the way that they show it. You know what I mean?
Right.
I don't think it's trying to be disrespectful or harm you or anything like that. But, you know, I guess just a message to my brother, just take it easy sometimes, you know? And you don't have to tell the lady that you want to marry her the next day. Like that's a turnoff too, because it's kind of like, are you being genuine or do you want an opportunity, you know? Yeah. Like take some time to get to know me. Because even the guy that I have been talking to actually since I moved here a year ago, his mom is like, when y'all gonna settle down? I'm like, damn, can we get to know each other?
Mommy's ready for the
you know?
Yeah.
But it's different. It's a different culture. You know, it's a different culture. Yep. And I'm definitely willing to adjust to the Ghanaian culture, but there's things that I'm like non-negotiable. Like I still want to get to know you. You know?
So yeah, you mentioned one thing that I want you to expand upon. You mentioned you were riding a trotro with your friends, and you were trying to talk to this young guy, and he was really kind of shy and meek. Have you met other Ghanaian men like that, and what do you feel about that? Like when you're trying to talk to a man in Ghana and he doesn't really respond to you?
You know, my initial thought when you were asking that question, my thought was, you know, all Ghanaians are like that. I feel like I definitely feel like they are, but then again, it's like you do have some that are comfortable in their skin and very confident, and they don't even care, you know. But I feel like that's more of the guys that are like, you know, have built a name for themselves, you know. So they have a little bit more confidence. But I definitely feel like, well, I mean, I say that. Let me not even say that, because I mean, confidence has more to do with just money.
Right.
And I think it has a lot to do with like your upbringing, you know, who you're around and things like that, and what you can do for somebody else. But I feel like there is a lot of guys that are very shy and timid, and I think that has a lot to do with their culture, you know? Now, the guy that I was talking to on the trotro.
This is Richard, this is the mate. Why are you shy?
He's super shy.
You are not shy. He was just trying to get us on his little trotro, okay? So he ain't shy, but this is Richard, this is the mate. We're on our way to Macklemore Market. Richard, say at the same.
It's cool, right?
Hey, okay. So let's go. Go ahead. He getting his money.
You know, I'm very like bubbly and I like to talk to people. So maybe I was just too much for him. Maybe if I like toned it down and said, hey, I'm Jewel, do you mind if, you know what I mean? If I came off a little differently, he would have been a little bit more comfortable. Well, maybe not, because he seemed like he was very like, I'm working, leave me alone. I really don't want this camera in my face, but he was being polite about it, you know?
Yeah, it's okay. I think some Ghanaian men are not used to a personality like you, because most Ghanaian women are more reserved and just, you know, kind of quiet, depending on which tribe you're from also. For example, Ashantis are more bold and boisterous. Fantis, which is my mother's side, were a little bit more reserved. So if you live in Ghana for a while, you're gonna notice the different characteristics of each tribe. Yeah, in Ghana, there's no dating for 6 months or a year or 2 years. I mean, in the past, your wife was chosen for you, by your family, kind of like Indian families. In Africa, parts of Africa and Ghana specifically, your wife was chosen for you. So your family saw a young lady that would come from a so-called good family. They're like, this is who you're gonna marry. and then you do the, the traditional marriage. But now it's changed, because the younger folk are getting more independent, and they're being influenced by Western culture. So people are choosing.
And I love that.
Yeah.
I love it. I definitely do, and I can definitely tell a difference when dating when it's a Ghanaian that's never left Ghana to a Ghanaian that has left to go to Canada and has come back home, or not even left to go out of Africa per se, but like went to Togo. You know what I mean? They kind of see how things are done, and they're more open-minded. And I definitely see that with people like in our generation because they're more open-minded to things. Yeah. The old heads, they not. Nobody's changing their minds at all. They don't care what's going on across the water.